Welcome back to the news at 10 and now to the arts. Following the success of their maiden exhibition titled Beyond Function 1, the duo of Cameroonian artists Jaku Kasi Natali and Nigeria's Ato Arinze are back with Beyond Function 2. The artists, through this exhibition, show the extra use of materials beyond their primary function. Art Review tonight visits Quintessence Gallery in Lagos, where the pieces are being showcased.
A regular at the Quintessence Gallery Lagos would notice that a few things have been tinkered with in the space to make room for these new arrivals, done in different shapes, sizes, and shades. It's all to accommodate the works of art done by two creative minds from diverse worlds, Jaku Natali from Cameroon and Ato Arinze from Nigeria. They came together to put up this show titled Beyond Function, the second in the series.
Beyond Function because most people used to see clay works as usual thing, to put water, to put food, to put things. And that way to see clay works is reducing the value of the work. So we say we have to go beyond that function of utility. So we have to show works that is going out of that way to see clay works as utilitarian tools or utilitarian items. It's why we say, okay, we can do something with the title Beyond Function. You just have to look the work and appreciate it. Just to put your eyes inside, not water, not oil, not food.
A display of pottery and ceramics brings a breath of fresh air to the gallery space, which is filled with the usual paintings and other decorative items. But these two see their craft going beyond aesthetical appeal.
The idea of taking it beyond the functionality also, part of it has to do with being the works being thematic. At least each of the works are inspired by maybe some kind of experience by the artist or some kind of events that are happening within our environment, you know. So we all choose each of the design based on the themes that we have in mind.
Pottery is usually fired up with clay, while ceramists use porcelain clay to create their pieces. But the other processes involved depend on the individual.
See, I don't like repeating work. So every time I'm inspired, by the moment I have one title in my work, my brain starts working. Sometimes you can't explain why you are working. It can happen sometimes when you are sleeping. It can happen if I enter in one gallery, something can inspire me. One motif can inspire me. If I'm in a market, two people talking, it can inspire me. So it's a chemistry you can't explain 100% what is happening in the brain of the artist, yes.
It's not every time one gets to enjoy an exhibition that shows this aspect of visual art. So the show is on for a month, an opportunity for art enthusiasts to really have a feel of the potter's wheel and see the chiseled wonders that come out from a creative hand.
The Super Sand Eagles are back to winning ways at the ongoing CAF Beach Soccer Cup of Nations in Sharm el-Sheikh, Egypt. The two-time African champions earlier today beat Libya 6-3 to brighten their chances of a place in the semi-finals. The win comes about 24 hours after the Sand Eagles lost 0-2 on penalty shootout to Senegal after both teams ended it 4-4 after regulation and extra time. Emeka Ogbonna contributed 2 of the goals, while Abu Aziz also netted a brace. Emmanuel Owofera and Sulaiman Ogodo got 1 goal each. Nigeria will take on debutants Tanzania in their final Group B game on Monday. The national under-20 side, the Flying Eagles of Nigeria, were this evening held to a goalless draw by Niger at the under-20 Wafu Cup in Lome, Togo. Flying Eagles will be battling arch rivals Ghana for a place in the semi-finals on Wednesday, While Group B leaders Niger have thus qualified for the last four of the sub-regional tournament after they beat Ghana 1-0 in their opening game. The group of just 3 teams after Benin pulled out of the competition. The team's coach, Paul Aibogun, handed 5 players their debuts on his starting 11 as Nigeria dominated play but could not make their dominance count. Also through to the semis are Senegal and Mali from Group A after they recorded their second wins. In the English Premier League, 10-man Newcastle United were this evening beaten 2-1 by Wolverhampton Wanderers when Matt Doherty scored in the 5th minute of added time. The home side suffered from having United States international defender DeAndre Yedlin sent off for a professional foul with more than half an hour to play. The victory is Wolves' second in succession in the EPL, the first time they have secured back-to-back wins since early October, while Newcastle have now failed to win their past 3 Premier League games. Away from sports news, France's Finance Minister Bruno Le Maire has described recent protests by the so-called Yellow Vests as a catastrophe. One of the largest protests took place on Saturday when more than 100,000 people took to the streets of Paris demonstrating against fuel tax rises, high living costs and other issues. Bruno Le Maire called the situation a crisis for both society and democracy. President Emmanuel Macron is expected to announce anti-crisis measures in an address to the nation on Monday. He's also expected to meet trade union and business leaders, according to union sources. Meanwhile, British Prime Minister Theresa May has warned the Tory rebels delaying a vote on Brexit could lead to a general election with a risk of no Brexit. The withdrawal deal negotiated between the UK and the EU has been endorsed by EU leaders but must also be backed by Parliament. But the government is widely expected to lose next week's vote, with Labour, the Liberal Democrats, the DUP, the SNP and dozens of Conservative members of Parliament saying they cannot support the deal. European Council President Donald Tusk tweeted today it will be an important week for the fate of Brexit. And the main news again. President Muhammadu Buhari today challenged youths in Africa to lead and win the fight against corruption in order to reverse the negative trend. The president, who was speaking at the opening of the Africa Youth Congress Against Corruption, charged the youths to develop anti-corruption curricula for campaigns in schools, businesses and the public space. Also today, the Nigerian Bar Association warned that the fight against corruption must not be selective or discriminatory in nature. And France today has been battling with yellow vest protests, which the country's finance minister says is a catastrophe for the nation's economy. That is the news at 10 tonight. Thank you for watching. I am Amarachi Ubani. Good night.